Have you ever considered what a person's true worth is measured by? Is it the cut of their coat, the shine of their shoes, or the weight of the coin in their purse? Or is it something deeper, something you can't see at a single glance? This is a story about the day I learned that the most valuable currency in any exchange isn't gold or silver, but dignity. My mentor, Silas, was the wealthiest merchant in the city, but you'd never know it. He believed that to truly understand the marketplace, you had to understand the people who filled it, not just the lords and ladies, but the bakers, the blacksmiths, and the beggars. He always said a business built without empathy was a house built on sand. So once a season, we'd engage in what he called a lesson in humility. We'd trade our fine linens for the rough tunics of laborers, smudge dirt on our faces, and walk the city streets not as a merchant and his apprentice, but as two common men looking for a day's wage. I confess in my youth I found it tiresome, but the lesson I learned on one sweltering summer afternoon has guided every decision I've made since. The sun beat down on the cobblestones, and the market was a chaotic symphony of shouting vendors and tantalizing aromas. Our stomachs rumbled in unison. Silas, with a knowing glint in his eye, pointed towards a modest-looking eatery tucked between a weaver's shop and a tannery. It was called the Hearty Bowl. We pushed open the heavy wooden door and stepped inside. The air was thick with the smell of stale ale and boiled cabbage. The owner, a large man with a perpetually sour expression named Gideon, stood behind the counter. His eyes flickered over our tattered clothes and immediately dismissed us. He jerked his chin towards a dark, wobbly table in the corner, right by the sweltering heat of the kitchen. We sat down, and after several minutes of being ignored, a young server finally sauntered over. He didn't greet us or offer a menu. He just slapped 2 wooden bowls on the table with a loud clatter. "Stew's all you'll be wanting," he mumbled, already turning to leave. He assumed, based on our appearance, that we could only afford the cheapest meal. I felt a surge of indignation. I knew we had enough gold in our hidden pouches to buy this entire place 3 times over. I started to protest, but Silas placed a calming hand on my arm. He simply nodded and said, "The stew will be fine, thank you." The meal that arrived was a disgrace. A thin, watery broth with a few lonely vegetables and a morsel of gristly meat. The bread was hard and stale. We ate in silence, enduring the sneers from the staff and the disdainful glances from the owner. They made no effort to hide their contempt. I watched Silas, expecting to see a flicker of anger, but his expression was one of serene observation, like a scholar studying a peculiar specimen. When we finished, I braced myself for a confrontation. Instead, Silas calmly stood up and approached the counter where Gideon was counting his earnings. "That will be 2 copper pennies," Gideon grunted, not even bothering to look up. Silas said nothing. He reached into a concealed pouch inside his tunic and pulled out not 2 copper pennies, but a heavy leather bag. He placed it on the counter with a solid, resonant thud that echoed through the silent tavern. Every head turned. The sound was unmistakable, the heavy, dense clink of gold. Gideon froze, his eyes widening as he stared at the pouch. Slowly, he loosened the drawstring and peered inside. His jaw fell open. I could see the shimmering glint of at least 100 gold sovereigns, a fortune large enough to change a man's life. "This is for the 2 bowls of stew," Silas said, his voice calm and even. "And for your service." The air in the room became thick with shock and regret. Gideon's face turned from pale white to a deep, flushed red. He stammered, unable to form a coherent sentence. "But, sir, I don't understand." The server who had been so rude rushed forward, bowing and scraping, his face a mask of panicked apology. "Please, sir, forgive our ignorance. Had we known, we would have given you the finest table, the best cuts of meat." Silas just gave a slight nod. "Keep the change," he said gently, and without another word, he turned and walked out. I followed him, leaving behind a room full of stunned, regretful people. As we walked away, I couldn't contain my confusion. "Silas," I asked, "why would you reward such appalling behavior? You paid a king's ransom for disrespect and a bowl of dishwater." Silas smiled that enigmatic smile of his. "Patience, Leo," he said. "The price was not for the stew, it was for the lesson. And the lesson is not yet complete. We will return tomorrow." The next day, we donned the same ragged clothes and went back to the hearty bowl. The moment we appeared in the doorway, the transformation was astounding. Gideon rushed to greet us, his face wreathed in the most obsequious smile I had ever seen. "Welcome, welcome, my esteemed guests. Welcome, he boomed, bowing so low his forehead nearly touched his knees. He personally escorted us to the finest table, covered with a pristine white linen cloth. The staff descended upon us. One polished our cutlery until it gleamed. Another filled our goblets with the finest chilled wine. They brought out course after course of the most exquisite food. Roasted pheasant, tender lamb, fresh bread still warm from the oven. Gideon hovered over our table the entire time, refilling our wine and describing each dish with exaggerated praise. The service was impeccable, but it was hollow. I could see the naked greed in their eyes. They weren't serving 2 men. They were serving the 100 gold sovereigns from the day before, hoping for a repeat performance. We ate slowly, savoring the delicious food. When the magnificent meal was finally over, a palpable tension filled the air. The staff stood at attention, their eyes fixed on Silas's tunic. Gideon presented the bill with a trembling hand, though he clearly expected it to be dismissed with another grand gesture. Silas looked at the bill, which noted that the meal was a gift. He nodded thoughtfully. Then, he reached into his tunic. Gideon leaned in, his breath held. I watched as Silas's hand emerged. It did not hold a heavy bag of gold. It held 2 small, dull, copper pennies. He placed them deliberately on the silver tray. "This," Silas announced, his voice clear and steady, "is for the 2 bowls of stew." Gideon stared at the 2 copper coins as if they were venomous snakes. The hope in his face collapsed into utter bewilderment. "2 pennies?" he sputtered. "After all this? Is this some kind of cruel joke?" It was then that Silas's entire posture changed. He stood up, and for the first time, he seemed to shed the guise of a poor laborer. His voice, though quiet, carried an authority that commanded the attention of the entire room. "There is no joke," he said, looking Gideon directly in the eye. "Yesterday, I came to your establishment as a humble man, and you treated me with scorn. You gave me your worst table, your worst food, and your worst attitude. For that experience, I paid you 100 gold sovereigns. That was the price for your disrespect, a fee for the lesson you so desperately needed." He then gestured to the 2 copper coins. "Today, I came here, and you treated me like a king. You gave me your finest table, your most delicious food, and your most attentive service. For this meal and this proper service, I have paid you the proper price, 2 copper pennies. Yesterday's payment was for the poverty of your character. Today's payment is for the quality of your labor. You have been paid fairly on both days." He let his words hang in the stunned silence. "A business," he continued, his voice softening, "is not built on the occasional windfall from a wealthy patron. It is built on the bedrock of consistent respect for every single person who walks through that door. Treat the man with 2 copper pennies in his pocket with the same dignity as the man with 100 gold sovereigns, for a good reputation is a treasure that cannot be bought. It must be earned, 1 customer at a time." We left the tavern, leaving Gideon and his staff frozen in place, the 2 copper coins gleaming on the tray like a final damning judgment. That day, I learned the most profound lesson of my life. I learned that what a person wears, or how much they appear to have, means nothing. True value lies in character, and true success in business. and in life comes from the simple, unwavering act of treating every soul with fairness and respect. It's a lesson that cost Silas 100 gold sovereigns, but for me, it was and remains utterly priceless. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, I'd be honored if you'd like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. See you next time.